How's it going, everyone? It is Friday, May 24th, 2024. This is the video for today. Sorry about not having a video yesterday. I was recovering from being a little sick and had a lot of work in my day job to take care of, so apologies for that. But we had no pick from the prior video, so nothing to review from there. Let's look at the market right now because we had some new information that happened in the past couple of days. Let's evaluate what that's looking like, and then we can take a look at some opportunities today. So, on a longer term market basis here, let me make this full screen. Okay. So we're in this very long trend, and we get this pullback in April. We find a base, get above the 50 SMA, and then we start to rally up a little bit higher. Let me actually change the chart layout so you guys can at least see what's going on over here. I'm going to keep it to this view. So we rally above these technical levels, and we get a nice move here. And we get this breakout to new all-time high. We're holding this level here, but we're waiting for NVIDIA earnings. Finally get NVIDIA earnings. They are positive. NVIDIA cracks 1,000. A lot of people are very happy about that. Market sells off, gets a bearish engulfing candle, very similar to what we saw over here. And now we're kind of in a waiting period, right? We're going to see what happens after this bearish engulfing candle. Are we going to break down like last time? Will we hold these gains and then go back up? A lot of questions. So that's what we happen on the D1 basis. Our long-term D1, to me, I'm still a 1 bullish. I think the NVIDIA earnings were pretty good. We're going to take a look at the next couple of ISM reports, unemployment reports, GDP look coming out at the end of the month. So we take a look at some of those things coming out next month, get a gauge of how fundamentally the economy is doing. Remember, we care about that because that's what asset managers care about. So to me, it's a way for us to get this theory of mind in their head. So longer term, we're still mildly bullish here, right? We're still preserving this trend. We had a pullback. We still meet a new high, even though it was marginal, so that's nice. Now, short term, we are neutral. This was one of the warning signs we were looking out for. The other warning signs could have been a very long compression that didn't result anywhere for maybe 2 weeks or so. The other warning sign is that we actually get up really high, we get some sort of buying climax, and then we get back down. So, there's a couple of warning signs here. We got this bearish engulfing warning sign. So to me right now, it says, hey, look, don't take any swing trades on either side. Wait for some market confirmation. There is a very good chance that this upcycle here is ended, and we're very close to the ending, and the beginning of the down cycle might start. This rally has matured too, by the way, and this last leg to trade has been a lot tougher than this earlier leg to trade all the way until February. I think February, March, April, May has been a little bit tougher to trade. So we have our short-term bias. Let's look at what happened intraday, past couple of days, and I'm going to clean up the SPY chart here. All right. So, FOMC statement before NVIDIA earnings, LPTE day. There was some news, some reaction to something Goldman Sachs was saying. I don't think they expected any rate cuts. Excuse me. People are always trying to predict recessions. I think David had a funny quote. Analysts predicted 10 out of the last 3 recessions, which really made me laugh. But it's true. I don't really pay attention to anything that they say. I just follow the price. Big sell-off here. End of the day from the FOMC statement and also some news, but we didn't want to put too much thought into that because with NVIDIA earnings, we wanted to see if there's any sort of material change happening over there. So market gaps up from mid-year earnings, gaps up to new all-time high, and I believe the pre-market high was even higher. If I take a look at, pre-market high of 534. So we don't really look at the pre-markets too much, but certainly worth just keeping a note of that. So we gap up, we fill in the gap within 20 minutes, I should say, fill in the gap. We get this bounce from the gap, and we're kind of moving around here. We poke through it, and then we get a strong move back up, and then we ride this a little bit higher, testing this level, this prior all-time high at around 531.50, 531.30, around there. So starting the day, it started out like it could have been a very nice bear trend day, especially here. We had a lot of opportunity. I love this setup. I mean, bearish 1OP cross, excellent price action, just spinning you low of the day, really nice stuff. So we get this weak move up higher, doesn't quite produce. Then we get this double top, and all of these buyers came out over here. They were defeated, right? We got this kind of move up here. This is a pretty weak follow through in my opinion. Then we spend most of the time going nowhere. Get the double top, start to sell off. You can see the volume start to accelerate. Let me get rid of this, by the way. Well, we don't need to see this chart up here. Okay. So we see some consecutive candles, not a lot of tails, closing near its low. Nice long bodies, heavy volume. Okay, so that's one sign. Now we're still testing this low. We're going to see if this low of the day is actually going to hold or if it's not going to hold. So we hit this point, and over here, if you think about this day here, okay, so we see some stronger selling pressure. We got this bearish cycle. Here was a chance where we could make a new low of the day. We had this bullish hammer, got a little bit of production here, slap down, and then bam, new low of the day. Okay, we got the breakout. Here's a little bit of follow through, and then you can ride this bear cycle. Really strong trend strength. We wouldn't even be worried about the bullish cross over here because the trend strength is so strong. It tells us that this is going to be a divergence, and it was most likely a divergence. When these strong trends happen, they usually die flat on the day, and that's kind of what happened. We got a little end of day bounce here, last 30 minutes, but pretty flat in the day. We didn't get a very strong bounce. So big, kind of went from this strong day, LPTE day, and then it became this very strong bearish reversal, like gap up bearish reversal. So very, very powerful selling pressure. Now today, we got a gap up, a decent gap up, which is what's to be expected, right? We got a little bit aggressive. We actually tested the low, poked below the low from the prior gap up, I believe, from the CPI. Let me check. From May 15th, the CPI gap up. We actually poked below it a little bit. So we went from the all-time high to the CPI gap up. So very big move in the market, testing a pretty decent low. So after this gap up, we probe here, look for support, we find some support, and we're hugging the high of the day right at the start of this bullish cross. So I like this move. I took some longs earlier in the day, took some nice profits on them. And this bull cycle produced very nicely, produced better than I thought. I thought we would see some nice tiny body candles to float up a little bit higher. But we did produce pretty well. I've been experimenting with these AVWAPs from prior day highs and prior day lows, and just to see if they're coming into play. So if we draw them over here, sometimes they come into play, sometimes they don't. AVWAPs from the prior couple of days also may come into play. But in any case, I thought we could see some resistance here. We're seeing some finding around here for sure. This rally is maturing. We're closer to the end, probably starting the bearish cycle here. We got our 1OP bear cross. If I were to just make this a little bit bigger, 1OP2 is a little bit less than 1OP1. and 1OP1 is flattening out. So this bear cycle may produce here, but we have to be careful. We have to watch out for this trend strength. We know that buyers aren't going to just throw in the towel. This is a nice move up, so we probably are going to expect to see some sort of double top before we take the loss. So my intraday bias today, still bullish. I want to see what happens on this bear cycle though. I don't love this long bearish candle, and I don't like how we've been unable to recover most of it. I think that is definitely very concerning. So if this is a very deep retracement, we have to be more neutral and not really push our day trade longs too much. If this ends up being a very wimpy move, and we kind of reclaim or hug this high of the day during this bearish cycle, okay, then that gives us some more flexibility to remain long, and also to take and enter some longs, provided that we'll probably end up testing this high here. We have some space to that, so I think a nice little weak pullback here would be fine. We get a good entry point, and then we can take some nice little day trade swings. At the end of the day, we know that this is going to be our resistance level, so we have a little bit of space to there. So let's see if we can find a nice short and a nice long for today. I'm going to look at my tags, and let's see what stocks are doing very well. Let's look at VST first. I love VST on the D1. Excellent breakout. Kind of a compression here, but really nice breakout. So nice move here. It's getting excellent relative strength as the market is pulling back. So I like VST a lot. Let's look at what else we can find. IP was very strong yesterday, continues its strength today. Already made a pretty big move in the open. Let's look at Flex. Yeah, Flex, beautiful grinder. FSLR took some nice profits on that this morning. Still looking pretty good. I'd wait for maybe an HA reversal, perhaps. You can take that trade on an HA reversal. So I'm going to create an alert. Bull M5 HA reversal. Okay. Zim we had our eye on. It was a nice parabolic swing earlier. So breaking out of this compression, really like what I'm seeing on Zim. If I put up the 1OT bounce trend lines, you can see that there are some bounce trend lines coming into play. Pretty close to where we are right now, 2060, 2028. So we're around this 2070 level. You could see around this 2070 level, we have that breakout, and we're just kind of chopping around this trend line here, seeing if we can get through it. So certainly quite important. So Zim is looking pretty good. Sprouts, I had a nice day trade earlier on that today. If this will load. So we're just looking for some strong stocks that are kind of holding their own in the SPY pullback. So here's Sprouts pulling back. We'll probably make another run for the high. eBay is one we're going to keep on our radar. And here is why. Super long compression, broke this horizontal level, and it's holding these gains. Put up eBay here. I mean, look at this chart. Strong breakout, held half of this breakout, and we're just digesting all of the selling and the profit taking and seeing if we can get that next leg higher. So a couple of ones that I like here on the long side. Let's look at the short side. So Workday was pretty nice post-earnings move. Stock hasn't really produced too much, so at this point, actually I'm in the trade right now, but you'd want to see the trade break through the low of the day. So if you can break through the low of the day, then you'd want to get in on the trade. If it can't, then you know that there's some short-term support is probably in for this stock, and it's probably going to be dead for the remainder of the day. We have a fresh 1p bear cycle, so that can be working in our favor. What else is on the short side here? TAL. Mobley had a great breakout earlier today. Yeah, nice, pretty nice grinder. Pretty choppy, so you don't want to be getting in at the high of the day. You want to get it back closer to the 8 EMA and short it over here. This was a huge volume candle, so I'd be careful about that on Mobley. You want to see if that was any sort of D1 support level here, or perhaps a low plus trend line support level, something like that. I like DE as a short. Excellent head of steam, clear valley, nothing in the way. Here we go. Some room until the gap fill. Yeah. Certainly like what I'm seeing on DE. Probably target that gap fill. See if that is still valid. And set an alert, close to the low of the day. It's got a bit of a bounce here. Seeing if we can get anything going on this low of the day breakout. ABBV. Workday we already talked about. INSM, Insamed. Nice move here. Bit of a short-term bounce in this stock. Okay. So nice move here. Very choppy stock. You can see that after it makes this new low, pretty big channel that's forming right here. If I were to just draw something like that, right? When it hits this level here, or if we were to draw something like this, right? These are a pretty powerful low plus trend line that is coming into play. In this bearish channel, so we're close to the bottom of that bearish channel. JetBlue, very choppy. Don't really love JetBlue. BMY was a nice one I liked earlier. Let's take a look at this stock. Pulling it a little bit here, but just as a strong D1 trend, I mean, absolutely beautiful D1 trend. I'd feel very nice shorting the stock. Let's see what else is coming up. KVU's not too bad. ACN's got to put in some work. It's kind of compressing a little bit. Baidu, Chinese stocks are certainly quite weak. Today, JD was also quite weak. Baidu, a bit of a grinder. Let me take a look at JD again. Yeah, JD a lot better price action, coming off a reversal on the D1. In the gap, so JD's a pretty nice short. We got a couple options here, and let's see what we can get. Okay. So I think my pick is going to be the following. If Workday can break through its low of the day, then I would take it as a short. That'll probably be my short pick of the day if that happens. My long pick. This is tough. I do like FSLR quite a bit here. Has been ignoring the market. It's been doing its own thing. So has Flex. I want to see a strong stock that has kind of held up in the bear cycle, maybe not too overextended. Yeah, I'm gonna go with FSLR, I think, as my long pick. If it has a minor pullback, so I think if we hold most of this breakout level, depending on how deep the pullback is, If it's a minor pullback, I'd like us to hold most of these gains right here. If it's a deeper pullback, I'd like us to hold most of the gains, at least on the opening of this candle, this prior resistance point. Yeah, so that's going to be our 2 picks of the day. Workday short, FSLR long, both the day trades. Right now, I'm not really looking for any swings. We're not going to put on any swing trades. Just take advantage of the intraday volatility. Look for some high probability opportunities. And then we are just going to see what the market does and wait for the market to give us some direction. So those are our 2 picks. Thanks for listening, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take a look at these 2 picks next week.